Hi, I'm Kenny Moran from Mobile Sessions, and welcome to our new tutorial series. This one is called Pro Tools Midi Basic 101. I'm just going to get you started. For those of you who haven't used Midi and Pro Tools before, I'm just going to show you how to make a track, get a metronome set, and get your keyboard so that it can control, an instrument, whether it be a virtual instrument and so on. I'll be doing other videos later on down the line that are going to get really advanced on how you do MIDI production and really get things moving with that. But for now, we're going to get started just like this. So take a look. I just have an open session I've just created. It's really basic. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the top in the menu, see Pro Tools, File, Edit, View, Track. Right at the bottom, Create Click Track. I press play. There's your click track. It's already. Now, you don't notice that there's a metronome anywhere in here. A lot of the times the transport comes up customized. So if you go all the way to the right here, click that open, and let's say MIDI controls, zoom controls, expanded transport. So now you're kind of looking at everything you can do. And as you'll see there is your metronomes kind of on and off, right? If you double click on it, you can set it to go to various different things. Look how old this part is. MIDI PT JV10 8010. Now that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to close that. And if you want to turn it on and off, click it on or click it off, or use number 7 on the keypad, right? So you can do that just as easy. So now we've got a click track. I'm going to leave that on. And now we need some MIDI tracks. So same thing. I'm going to go up to the top. I'm going to go to track and just say new. It's now the first one. So we open that and this dialog comes up and you can say how many tracks, create one. Is it a mono track? Is it an audio track? Is it ticks? And here's the name. The first thing we're going to do is where it says audio tracks, because that's the type of track, we're going to go in here and we're going to make an instrument track. So now that we have an instrument track, I can do some things with it. I can make the track smaller or bigger just by clicking on it, and you'll notice that there's keys there on the side to kind of tell you what's going on. So if I play my MIDI keyboard, nothing is showing up there. Even if I put it in record, you won't see it. But if you look at the top up here, you'll notice that it will tell you that there's MIDI information coming into Pro Tools. So you know that you are getting MIDI. The reason you're not getting MIDI like showing in this graph is because the instrument track also takes audio input at the same time, right? So what I'm going to do now before I put an instrument on there is I'm also going to make a MIDI track and show you the difference. If I go inside here where it says audio, I select MIDI. I'm just going to create one MIDI track, and you'll notice if I put MIDI and record, lo and behold, you're going to see all the messages. Now, the two are almost one and the same, except a MIDI track is only MIDI information, whereas an audio, like an instrument track, can be you can put a MIDI instrument on there, you could have an audio input on there, you can do various different things that go beyond just MIDI. Now that we have our instrument here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in the menu here, and I'm going to say, look down at my instruments, and I'm going to go to battery. I'm just going to open up a battery kit. There it is. I'm going to click on that, and there it is. So what I'll do is, you can see how I'm controlling from here, and you can see the audio input. Now, I could also go to a MIDI track. Let's move this over here for a second. I could also go to a MIDI track here, and let's see where it's set to go. You'll notice that if I click inside here, this is where I can select what instruments I want. So these are looking at external instruments, and if you had a bunch of virtual instruments loaded up, you would see them all come here. Right now we only have battery 4. I'm going to select that, and if I put that, you'll see that same thing. I'm recording it from MIDI track. So let's just see what we got here. Let's just okay, so if I put it in record, I can just hit record over here, and it's waiting for me to press play. There's that. That's one way of going into record. Another way is just hitting number 3 on the keypad, which is standard Pro Tools record. Doesn't matter if it's audio or MIDI in this case, right? But what I am going to do is right here, you'll see this is our transport, and where we have the metronome above that, I'm going to put in a count off of 1 bar. So if I hit record, it's going to give me 4 beats, or a count off of 1 bar. And really basic. I'm not even sure what I played there, but I'm going to take a look at it for a second, and there you go. Real basic MIDI track. And I'm going to label this. I'm going to call this drums. All I did was double click on it, just like if it was audio, right? And for the instrument, I'm going to label this. I'm going to call this battery. And I'm going to quickly save it. So it's now saved. So that's really straightforward. So what I'm going to do now, just to finish up on this Basic 101 MIDI, I'm going to make this bigger so you can see all the notes. And I'm going to just make that so the clip is, the 4 bars. I'm going to turn the click off for a second. MIDI Basics, Pro Tools 101.